This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and NAB Biscuits.
HomeGen reopens its emergency services following staff assault. Justice Susan Sully sworn in to the Supreme and National Courts. And PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority approves entertainment visa. A very good evening. This is National Emtv News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. The Port Moresby General Hospital Emergency Department resumed operations today after it was temporarily closed yesterday morning.
According to Port Moresby General Hospital CEO Paki Molumi, the emergency department was closed after a senior medical officer was assaulted on the 17th of September. Investigations carried out revealed that the perpetrator is a dependent resident of Murray Barracks. Mr. Molumi stressed the incident has traumatized the staff members that prompted them to attend to Category 1 emergency cases only that are life-threatening. However, the situation is under control and business is as usual. Mr. Molumi said the increased demand for healthcare by our growing population is putting a strain on Port Moresby General Hospital. It has now come to a stage where our staff are assaulted to attend to patients. Molumi added the Go PNG is working hard to build capacity for NCD PHA and Central PHA to relieve Port Moresby General Hospital. They always give their best to manage the challenges and continue to provide much-needed health services to the population. Hence, Mr. Molumi is now appealing to the general public to respect the staff of ED who work tirelessly to attend to patients every day. Gladys Killer, National Emtv News.
Today marked a memorable day for the judiciary arm of the government as Justice Susan Sully was sworn into the Supreme and National Courts of Papua New Guinea.
Justice Sully is one of the 6 judges that were appointed earlier this year to preside over the National and Supreme Courts. The appointment was done to increase the number of judges to 40 to help in dealing with the increasing cases and backlogs. Justice Sully thanked the Minister Pila Niningi for having the confidence in her and in her appointment as a judge.
Significant responsibility and I thank the Minister for the opportunity and the confidence that has been placed in me, and I thank everyone for coming today. You honour me with your presence.
Minister for Justice and Attorney General Pila Niningi said the appointment of the new judges would remain for 3 years but will be extended for another 5 to 10 years. Niningi added that the appointment of new judges is to meet the government's aim of having 200 magistrates.
The government made a decision to recruit 5 more judges from Australia, and the government also NEC made a decision to appoint 4 from New Zealand or more, and also 4 from Great Britain and 2 from Canada and other Commonwealth countries. So we will get it. So not only the outside judges, but Papua New Guinea, senior Papua New Guineans will take up this job. And
the Australian High Commissioner to PNG, John Philp, was also present to witness the swearing-in of Justice Sully and offered his congratulations.
Australian judge, an extremely experienced and highly respected judge of the Federal Circuit Court in Australia, bring here not just that experience and knowledge of law, but also the links between Papua New Guinea and Australia, between our justice systems that are of extremely long standing. We really like to see them strengthened again and again, not just through the programs that we support, but through Papua New Guinea's own initiatives.
Justice Sully was a judge of the Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia prior to her appointment and has a long professional involvement in family law and alternative dispute processes. Tamara Agavi, National Emtv News.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Immigration and Border Security John Rosso has announced today that 6 visa types under the entertainer visa class are now available online on the PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority website.
Minister Rosso said the government is advocating on digital transformation and he has supported PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority's effort to digitize its services to ensure the visitors have access to apply for visas in the comfort of their home and travel to PNG without delays. The visa classes available and accessible online include filmmaker, comedian, musician, gospel group and cultural group. Minister also said the new arrangement would allow PNG to bring in world-class artists as well as develop local talent and promote the entertainment industry. He said that each of the visa types has a migration service fee attached and visa holders are eligible for extensions. Specific visas for new lodgement and extensions are available on the website. Minister Rosso stated that the previous process required the entertainers to physically lodge their visa applications at a PNG diplomatic mission. This was not suitable considering PNG does not have diplomatic representation in all countries, that entertainers are often on tour or in countries which might have missions for only a night or two, and finding the time to submit applications in that manner was impractical. Louis Maingu, National Emtv News.
The United Arab Emirates Ambassador to Papua New Guinea, Jamal Abdullah Al-Waidi, today paid a visit to the government house to have unofficial talks with the Governor-General Sir Bob Dadai.
The United Arab Emirates Commissioner was welcomed with a small police parade before proceeding into the government house, and later both government heads had a presentation of credentials. Ambassador Jamal Abdullah Al-Suwaidi presented the credence on behalf of the President of the United Arab Emirates. In response to the UAE Ambassador, the Governor-General extended his gratitude to the President of the United Arab Emirates and to the people of UAE. He further stated that the PNG government has many possible areas of cooperation in the political, economic, social, humanitarian, cultural and scientific areas. The Governor-General also made mention the possibility of cooperation in its extractive industry as well as its support in clean energy. He also acknowledged the government of UAE's desire and focus to develop bilateral relations between the two countries. The UAE and PNG bilateral relations have existed since the 22nd of May 2017. Tamara Agavi, National Emtv News.
The Marape Rosso government funded a 1 million kina to Kainan district of Eastern Highlands province to develop the township. This was announced by the Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso during the launch of district's 5 years development plans recently.
Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso described Kainan town as an important economic hub, serving highlands and parts of Momase region. He said it is important for Marape Rosso government to support Kainan town extension program and Kainan road connecting Abura Wonenara to Menyama in Morobe towards Gulf province through Connect PNG program. Kainan MP, when thanking the Marape Rosso government, said Kainan hosts 2 significant projects that contribute to country's revenue, which are Kainan Mine and Ramu Hydro 1 project and Ramu 2 project that will supply power to Wafi Gold project, and such assistance is timely. He says the 1 million kina is committed to develop Kainan district as they don't have water supply and sewage system in town. Member for Kainan highlighted that the population is growing and more development and business activities need to take place. He also stated that he is ready to help his people to transport their fresh produce to other big markets in towns and cities. Therefore, his people were encouraged to involve in farming. Estagane, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break. With more stories, stay with us. You're watching National Emtv News. The people of Enga province have been urged to embrace peace and do away with tribal fighting. That was the key message delivered by concerned leaders during the recent independence celebration at Ipus Oval in Wabeg Town.
Despite being affected by tribal fights throughout the province, the people of Enga stood united to listen to their leaders who stressed on the importance of peace and harmony. People were told that maintaining law and order is everyone's business. Hence, the political leaders, police and people need to work together. Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology as well as Sports Minister Don Polier reiterated the call in front of thousands gathered last Friday. As a national government representative on the ground who has been approaching warring tribes throughout the province, Polier stressed that Enga people should be competing in education and sports and not tribal fights. Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipata shared similar sentiments, highlighting that fighting and violence was evil and people should not be doing that. Sir Ipata said he had worked hard to invest in education and establishing various tertiary institutions in Enga for the younger generation, and tribal fights, killings and destruction was disappointing. He urged the people to learn from the attitude of provincial rugby league team Enga Miox that has displayed victory through unity. Vice Minister for Sports and Chuave MP James Nomane from neighboring Simbu province also explained to the people that if Enga united and peaceful was destined for bigger things, including infrastructure developments. Provincial Administrator Sandy Saka also stressed similar sentiments, pointing out that it is a matter of change in attitude, discipline and teamwork to see Enga going forward. Gladys Kila, National Emtv News.
A person with a special need in Kiunga, Western Province, who cannot walk, has been struggling to sustain his life, has received a subcontract support that will benefit him. The Lower Oktedi Company Limited and the managing company, Logic Bige Limited, presented a contracting opportunity in Kiunga yesterday.
Griwo Krembi is one of the persons with special needs who has focused on supporting his own life since his childhood days but cannot do so due to financial constraints. Thus, this contract is a boost for him. Chairman for the Logic Bige Limited, or LBL, Ketu Nuri, says providing such opportunity to people in the community will help them to participate in business activities. Griwo Krembi received the signed document for his subcontract, which will be managed by LBL. He says although he is a disabled person, this was his great achievement, which will be used to providing services in North-Fly district. The Board of Directors will continue to support this contract to ensure it is venture into larger company to benefit more people. Chief Executive Officer for the company, Anthony Ameresinge, mentioned that supporting community members involving in such activities will help them to change their own villages and the district. This contracting opportunity given by Oktedi Mining Limited in terms of vehicle hire and equipment hire will see graders, excavators, fuel and container haulage, personnel and goods transport, among others, to provide services in North-Fly district. Griwo thanked all the Board of Directors and OTML for supporting him in the community. Louis Maingu, National Emtv News.
Under the EU Straight PNG program, the Hambini village in the Ambunti Drekikia district of East Sepik province received critical support that kick-started their resurgence. Comprehensive cocoa training programs helped to revitalize their cocoa farming techniques and the establishment of 2 cocoa nurseries, the first with 11,000 cocoa pod bora tolerant seedlings and the second with 21,000 CPB tolerant seedlings, as well as providing materials.
Hambini village, located on the summit of a hill with more than 9,000 rural people, spread across 1,500 cocoa farming households. This remote community faced challenges. Their cocoa farms were less productive, incomes were meager, and their educational and health facilities were in disrepair. Their journey to transformation was made possible by the unwavering support of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, under the EU Straight PNG program. FAO not only providing cocoa nurseries, but also conducted training on effective nursery management. This empowered the community to manage the nurseries more effectively. Furthermore, FAO purchased the seedlings from the same nurseries managed by the community and distributed among cocoa farming households. These supports not only increased the community's income but also facilitated the development of an efficient cocoa farming system, ensuring long-term productivity. FAO is also actively promoting the community's engagement in downstream cocoa value chain activities. The income generated from cocoa seedling sales was pivotal as the community deposited a share of the generated income into the village trust fund, a testament to their commitment to change. With these financial contributions, Hambini village turned their dreams into reality. They completed the construction of a permanent structure elementary classroom and a new aid post, bringing quality education and essential health care closer to their doorstep. Esther Gane, National Emtv News.
800 plus Catholic women from East and West Sepik prepared to travel to Lae for Momase Regional Catholic Women's Convention this week. UAE Catholic Diocese Women's President Anna Winduo confirmed this. One of the objectives of the convention is to promote local SMEs in Momase region, especially those established and operated by Catholic women. The convention will begin on the 25th and end on the 29th of this month. 18 mothers from Vanimo and 102 from Aitape will join the mothers from Wewak later this week to travel via ship and dinghy to Lae, said Mrs. Winduo. 47 wards in Nawaib district for the first time received independence funds transparently to celebrate the country's 48th independence.
According to Nawai MP Theo Pelgan, a total of 130,000 was distributed to all 47 wards in Wahin, Erap, Nabak, Labuta and Ai Eben. Mr. Pelgan said he ensured all ward councillors and ward committees had signed documents at each location before the money was handed over. All 47 wards were each presented with 2,500 kina for the independence celebration that took place over the weekend. Nawai DDA Church representative Mr. Eric Mangtan said in the previous years, funds earmarked for Independence Day were not given down to the people. Only a few wards came back with acquittals, and the approach taken by the minister is of good initiative to allow transparency to prevail. Mr. Pelgan has emphasized that under his leadership, he encourages transparency and accountability of all public funds and that all funds delivered must be reported back with acquittals this year. Gladys Kila, National Emtv News.
And now looking at the NAB Market Report, the kina closed unchanged at 0.2750 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kainan was buying $0.2675 US dollars, $0.4131 Australian dollars, $0.2427 euro, 39.14 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading lower, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed lower, copra closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In preparations for the Pacific Games this November, a one-day education workshop was held for Team PNG coaches in Port Moresby at the Taurama Aquatic Centre.
This being what the coaches described as the last phases leading up to the Pacific Games, the one-day workshop for Team PNG coaches was aimed at providing coaches with the necessary tools in polishing of their athletes' training in high performance.
The program we are running today is called Coach Education Workshop for the Solomon Islands coaches from Papua New Guinea that are going there to take part. And the sessions that we are delivering are basically aimed at the final stages of the preparation towards the Solomon Islands Games.
Karulaka from the High Performance Sports PNG said the work of getting their athletes in respective sports prepared was already carried out by the esteemed coaches, adding that this most likely is the last of the workshops for Team PNG coaches in preparation for the Pacific Games.
I don't think we are going to run any other coaching given the time frame that we have before the games, so it's not a good idea to, give them too many things and disturb them. They just need to focus. So the tools we're giving them is to help them to focus and sharpen their teams.
The program covered essentials of teamwork, understanding key opponents, and preparing to win. Attendance at the program, however, was at a decline, with most of the coaches and assistant coaches being excused as they had further training and competition arrangements with their respective athletes that could not be put off. Natasha Ovoy, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. Despite cultural and emotional challenges, Team PNG's Samoa Women's Division of Indoor Volleyball are ready for the Pacific Games this November. This was the affirmation by their assistant coach, Willie Veuna.
It is not an easy task pushing an athlete to reach their greatest potential, even more a challenge when it comes to a team. With the coach having his work cut out for him, especially with time ticking to one of the Pacific's legacy, Vuina noted a challenge related to gender in coaching the Samoa women's team when emotions are involved.
With the team PNG Samoa women's team, it's been quite a difficult task because of the gender variation. A male coaching the female team. We need to myself, my coach, that coach is to be careful what we say and what we do. So we are very conscious of what we do, how we train them, how we approach them. It's important in our training careers.
He also noted that family components affect a player's performance.
The only thing that we are now trying to get on touch is the mental. Mental is our main issue now. Every training session we try to, some of them might come with problems in the house, and the training we give to them that is not to our expectations. We are thinking what's the cause of that situation. So in order to do that, we put them away one by one on one and we talk to them to encourage them.
However, being ranked 7th in the Pacific Games and yet to receive a medal, the coach said the ladies are persistent as well as talented and are determined to make a name of the team this coming November in the Solomon Islands. Natasha Avoy, Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours for the southern region, all centers mostly fine. In the Momase region, Ley, Medang and Wewak partly cloudy, Banimo possible brief showers. And in the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau few showers, KV and Kokopo and Rabaul possible brief showers, Kimbe windy, Buka some showers. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa partly cloudy then morning fog, Mendi and Wabek possible patchy rain then morning fog. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands, to Kerema to Yule Island to Port Moresby to Hood Point to Samarai Island, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters, rising to 2.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to eastern and western Milling Bay Islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 meters. Waters of North Cape Vogel to Ewan Gulf to Finschhafen, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitiers Dampier Straits to CRC and Long Islands, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters, rising to 3 meters and 4 meters at times. Waters west of Long Island to Medang to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters, rising to 2.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 meters. And waters of New Britain to New Island and Bougainville, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters. And looking at the ocean forecast, Coral Sea sees moderate to rather rough southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots with some gusts. Solomon Sea sees moderate becoming rather rough over southeast sector, southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots. Prismark Sea sees moderate to rough southeast winds of 15 to 25 knots. And Pacific Ocean sees light to moderate southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, gusting to 25 knots at times.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Tuesday, the 19th of September 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.